We have just finished watching this week's Raw, which is whatever month this is, whatever week this is. And it was actually a pretty good Raw. Well, right in whatever Raw it was. It starts off an ambulance driving in by with what sounded like a Scott Steiner's kind of ambulance thing running through the PA. Really, really good. I was wondering who it was, knew who it was deep down. It was Ryback. He comes out of the ambulance and starts telling us all off, telling us that we're all, are all stupid and we're weak. And it was a really good promo. Ryback works a billion times better as a heel than a face because he just looks like a bad guy. He just looks like, he's bald and he's got like all that facial hair. And I felt that it was a bit strange him being a face when he looks like that. He looks more like a heel. What did you think of the whole thing?
I completely agree with what you said about Ryback. He's a better heel than he was a face. And it's nice to see that this is building up to a match at Payback, an ambulance match at Payback.
That's it. I mean, bold prediction already. John Cena's going to win. It's just going to be, that's just the way that I'm seeing it, and I'm probably going to be right. And even if I'm not right, he's going to win sometime, so...
And then there was a painfully obvious advertisement for Sonic Shakes. It's just filming people really awkwardly in the crowd drinking the milkshake. It was very funny. I just wanted to point this out because it's just like pretty awkward. It's like you're filming someone drinking a milkshake and they're like all laughing and like I don't really feel comfortable with drinking this in front of you, camera guy.
It was such a grand old kind of like, it was just everyone was kind of like, oh, it's made from real ice cream. It's like it was poor ice cream. I mean, like, gee whiz. What a sad state of affairs when it suddenly turns into as if we don't have enough adverts going on in the world. It then led into Fandango and Wade Barrett against Jericho and The Miz. Fandango comes out with a karaoke kind of machine on his Titantron where everyone has to go da 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 da, and it just has to keep going like that, which was a bit of a I don't know how I feel about that, especially when people are doing those arms thing. That thing with the arms, I don't quite get. It's more the fans that irritate me. I mean, wrestling fans have been irritating me for the past, many years, apart from myself, obviously. Overall, I thought this match was pretty good.
I thought it was a bit stupid that Fandango, in the middle of the match, he pretty much cost himself the match. Jericho and Miz won. He pretty much cost himself the match by starting dancing with his partner, his woman person. I forgot her name.
Well, JBL calls her Mrs. Fandango because that's what females just get given, our name after they're married. Apparently, I mean, there's never said they were married. JBL just assumes things as always. But I thought it was a bit daft. Then in the end, Jericho and Miz, they come out after they've been counted out or pinned. No, Barrett was pinned. Then Jericho and Miz come out and he submitted. Jericho and Miz come out, and Jericho does a little dance thing because, after all, he was in that dance show, and it's funny. And then kind of goes, and they're not getting to dance with me anymore, and does the typical kind of Jericho taunting. I love Jericho's taunting. It is brilliant. I love it.
And then Vicky Guerrero announced a whole app kind of vote thing, which is obviously fixed, just with the choices that there are. It's either Great Khali, R-Truth, or Randy Orton. They're gonna face Jack Swagger. It's kind of obvious who's going to win this in the first place.
Could it possibly be the Great Khali, who probably on a little bit before Raw probably had to do another karaoke thing? What happened to Great Khali? He should just get given something like what we were wanting him to be, like a monster kind of guy. Because he's a massive guy. He'd be scary. Instead, he gets this weird gimmick that doesn't go anywhere, where he's a boyfriend to Natalia and wears a mask and says, "No, it's only me." Just daft. R-Truth, deserves a lot more, and it was going to be obvious who it was going to be. But we will see later on if we are right. That's how exciting it all gets. Afterwards, Team Hell No reflect on losing the titles, and Kane said something that Daniel Bryan took the wrong way. He said something about them being weak, and Daniel Bryan was like, "What, you calling me weak?" And then Kingston, the voice of reason, Kofi Kingston, comes up and breaks up this very, very intense argument, which is soon going to, because it doesn't tell you, because I thought that Kofi Kingston was just there randomly. But it's going to be a match later on tonight, which we find out later on.
I also found it pretty funny that Daniel Bryan said that he feels naked without the titles.
He did, yeah, exactly. It was
He did look weird without the titles,
yeah.
because it has been so long since he's had the titles. It's been so long since he's not been champion.
Yeah, exactly.
Then it's the Sheamus. He defeated Titus O'Neil in what was a pretty good match, and it actually makes sense that these two are in a match with each other, because Titus O'Neil was Mark Henry's trainer for a little while, or a workout buddy or something. And it's nice to see Titus O'Neil getting some sort of offense over Sheamus, and Sheamus defeated him, and it was a good back and forth match.
Sheamus had managed to carry, Mark Henry in the strap match, and Mark Henry was he wasn't able to take Sheamus, but Titus O'Neil was able to do that fall away kind of slam over his head kind of thing. It's nothing serious. It's just me cracking a kind of a wise ass comment. This match was really, really good. Yep, I agree with everything you had said there. Then Paul Heyman comes out, and he has a new client, and he's saying to everyone that everyone is so quick to judge him, quick to hate on Paul Heyman and all his clients, and just because they're all Paul Heyman guys, they're automatically going to be bad people. My opinion on Paul Heyman: he's a good character, terrible human being, stuff he's done in his life, and the fact that he takes joy in laughing about the stuff he's done kind of does make me sick. But his new client, his new client turns out to be Michael McKillicuddy under a new name of Kurt Axel, and already people are so quick to just say, "Oh, this guy's going to go nowhere."
Yeah, it's just because it's Michael McGillicuddy. That's the only reason people think that he's going to go absolutely nowhere, which is daft and stupid.
So it's I just don't. It's so quick to after that. I've been hearing people going on about that promo. That's all. He always gets slagged off because of that promo. Triple H comes out, starts because Paul Heyman had been saying that Triple H has gone home back to mummy, and Triple H is like, "No, you're talking. You're blowing smoke." I had my worries about Kurt Axel being just jobbed to him, because I've got my admittedly prejudice about certain things, and I was quite worried, because I thought it would be one of those things where he'd get beaten up just really quickly.
Then it was Biggie Langston and Alberto Del Rio in what was a pretty good match. Biggie Langston, it was both back and forth, and also another thing that makes sense. Alberto Del Rio's facing off against against Dolph Ziggler's bodyguard, and this makes sense. It's not just a match that's thrown together. It's not just a match that's it's just blah 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 against blah blah blah, two vanilla type guys. Biggie Langston won the match due to distraction by AJ by throwing a bucket into the ring.
I thought the bucket thing was pretty funny. It was just how just random that was. It's just threw a bucket. Where did she get the bucket from?
She took it from Rodriguez.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. That's fair enough. Then we had a break, and then Layla and AJ, who get no entrances. You don't hear their music. And of course, another thing that annoys me about wrestling fans is this whole finding people attractive for no apparent reason apart from the fact that they kiss Kane and they think that they've got a shot. And it doesn't matter if you put on a rubbish match as long as it's hot, apparently.
As long as the said person is hot, or like this is my problem with female wrestling. It's like the fans like perspective of it. If it's not like slutty or anything like that, it's not good. Which that's just stupid. Like, why alienate about 51% of the population in the world?
Yeah, and then it kind of like argues with the whole thing. It's like, is it actually like a PG product because they're allowed to smack each other? Then like, you know, then then you wonder like what people are allowed to say ass and crap, and then it's kind of like, no, but you can't do this because this is a PG show. I mean, you know, it's kind of a bit confusing because you hear so much different things. Well, Layla taps out by smacking AJ's ass, and then everyone you know gets overexcited. The wrestling community all like blows up with just excitement over this, and that was just about it. It's only a good match because a girl touched another girl's ass. That's about as far as what I understand the reasons behind it. So yeah. So
then it's Cody Rhodes and Zack Ryder had a match. This started, I believe, mid-match. Like, it was an advertisement break, and then it was like, oh, it's Cody Rhodes and Zack Ryder. This was like a pretty good but unmemorable match. Like, I can't remember much from it. Cody Rhodes won with a pretty nice like springboard like kick thing that he normally does, and then Ryback came out and shell-shocked. No, he just beat up Zack Ryder and put him into the ambulance to show like that he can put someone in an ambulance, which I think was a pretty nice touch.
I thought it was pretty good. Zack Ryder never. That's the first time I've heard about his new hairstyle. The first time I've seen Zack Ryder's new hairstyle, which is just him without gel, which I just don't understand. It was made quite a big deal by some people about how he had like this amazing new hairstyle, and didn't say amazing, but it was a new hairstyle. It's just him without gel. Next match was quite a long match with The Shield against Hell No and Kofi Kingston. This match would have been good in my opinion if I wasn't full of urine. That was just the problem. I was just needing a whiz really, really badly, and it was just okay. I'll go after this match, and the match wasn't going to end. It was really good though. Wonder why it wasn't as long as the Extreme Rules matches. That's what puzzles me as well. Is the fact Extreme Rules, both you know, Dean Ambrose and Kofi Kingston and Shield and Hell No's matches combined wasn't as long as their Raw, which I don't get. I just don't understand that, because the reason why it irritates me is because I was wanting to speak about this at some point, is the double standard by, you know, this and another company which is relatively big called TNA, who used to get criticized over and over for throwing out matches that should be on pay-per-view when you're going to have a very short pay-per-view, a short match on it. It doesn't make sense. How come it's allowed that double standard? Good match, but why wasn't it on pay-per-view? I don't get, because that's what people would complain about.
Yeah, like it should have been like the other way around. Like this pay-per-view should have, this match should have been on Extreme Rules, and the two title matches should have been on this like show, because it's like, neither, like, that match was a pay-per-view quality match. And it's good that they are putting that out for, like, free. But this is, again, the double standard. People complain about TNA when they do stuff like that. Oh, they put on really... And WCW, people have, like, WWE has criticized WCW for putting on a match that should have been on a pay-per-view on a free show.
Yeah, it's just that it makes no sense.
So that means that they're hypocrites.
Yeah. Then Triple H gets ready for his match, but then he gets told by a guy saying, "Oh, you're not able to wrestle." Triple H answers with, "Does he like his job?"
Yeah, I quite like this. I like how he just said, like, he's pretty much said if he's not allowed to wrestle, then the doctor's fired. I like that, and it's just the way he said it. It's like, if